Now to an ABC 3340 exclusive. We go behind the steel walls with unprecedented access inside the U.S. Navy.
It is a rare invitation that would have me landing on an aircraft carrier in the Atlantic. These are the real patriots protecting our families, and tonight it's our first night in a series starting with a young woman from St. Clair County with a job like no other. This is Alabama the Brave. Few civilians get the invitation. Even fewer cameras are allowed to show you this. But ABC 3340 was granted unprecedented access with the U.S. Navy.
Let's go!
From land to the Atlantic, these are the men and women who always have an eye on our security. To meet these patriotic protectors, I agreed to always be in uniform and to train. Survival swim training with the best in the world, medical clearance, and rescue and recovery tactics. More on those later, but the end result would clear my landing on this. The USS Abraham Lincoln, one of 11 aircraft carriers in service. I don a full flight suit with emergency devices we've agreed not to show, helmet, goggles, and board our plane. There's only 2 windows, no talking, and no clue of our exact location. Eventually, we're told to brace as we make what's called an arrested landing. As we show you around, you'll meet several Alabamians.
Haley Matthews from Asheville, Alabama.
This St. Clair County hero has a big smile and a serious job.
So I'm responsible for making sure that our ship is safe from missile threats by conducting anti-ship missile defense.
We can't show you her workspace or where it's located for obvious reasons.
A lot of computers, a lot of blue lights, a lot of people in and out all the time. It's a very busy space.
Much of her missile defense job is secret. It's a 6-hour shift with constant communication.
He's called the Tactical Action Officer. That's who I'm communicating with on a daily basis.
There's always a chain of command.
There's always a chain of command.
We are hundreds of miles off the U.S. coast, and I can tell you the ship does sway, but not too bad. And the sound of the planes actually calm this Alabamian.
I kind of go to sleep at night to the rhythm of, aircraft launching and landing, and I don't even notice it anymore. It can be a little intense sometimes, but most of the time it's a pretty good place to be. Every day I work on basically a tiny city floating around in the middle of the ocean with 3,000 other people, so it's insane to me every day.
She and the others train every day, from emergency situations like fires,
Relieve the nozzleman! Relieve the nozzleman on!
To attacks and casualties.
Fail with a right leg compound fracture.
They're ready for everything, but they also find time to relax. For them, that includes working out, maybe even a jog when approved on the flight deck.
Everybody makes it sound like the 5K is fun. Is that just your superior's way of getting you to exercise?
No, it can be.
5K?
It can be, because I don't really know a lot of people who can say I ran 3 miles, floating out in the middle of the ocean.
Okay, now that's a great point.
While the ship has pretty much everything you can imagine, Haley Matthews reminds me it's not Alabama.
Just the people. People are very friendly, and I also miss sweet tea all the time.
Yeah?
Yes.
The views are amazing, the sights are inspiring, and the coordinated movements that happen on the Lincoln, downright impressive. Starting with Alabamians like Matthews.
This is exactly what makes Alabama so wonderful, protecting our families, protecting the United States.
Yes.
You do realize we're all very appreciative of you, right?
I do, thank you. And I appreciate your appreciation.
And these are the real heroes. They're not interested in politicians or office gossip. They just want us to feel safe.
Hey, it's not often you're invited to land on an aircraft carrier, but ABC 3340 got the unique opportunity.
Yes, and I am using the opportunity to show our appreciation, highlighting the men and women who protect us. Tonight, we're going behind the scenes. This is Alabama the Brave.
Let's go! These are real life explosives,
It can be a little intense sometimes.
It's a city that never sleeps. After a bit of training, ABC 3340 was granted access to land on the USS Lincoln. Hundreds of miles off the coast, the aircraft carrier is nearly 1,100 feet long, 200 feet tall. One anchor weighs the equivalent of 11 Suburbans, not including the chain. but it's the people that keep it moving, protecting us.
Anthony Lewis, I'm from Casada, Alabama.
Kevin Spakes in Fort Deposit, Alabama.
Alabamians playing critical roles. As aircraft land, Anthony is below the flight deck.
We mainly handle a lot of the aircraft that come down for maintenance and different type of procedures that goes on.
Anthony controls this massive space. It's this area where aircraft are chained down. Obviously, the ship can sway and most often worked on or prepped, and maneuvering them is no simple task. That's where Anthony's expertise takes over. But his job is twofold. Here, they also train for the worst. In fact, it takes extensive training to protect each other and the ship.
We also specialize in fighting fires. If a fuel station fire, something breaks out, we need to be there to be the first responders to the fire.
As for the aircraft, from moving, adjusting, parking, locking down, it all takes precision guidance.
I love my job. I love everything about it. So I'm always happy. They call me Happy Lewis here.
Depending what's happening and landing, this area could be full.
It's not just the fighters that come in for landing after those touch and goes and landings. This is a cod that can transport goods and people to the boat, and here it comes in right now for a landing.
Soon it will be filled with many aircraft. It's just like a puzzle, and you just have to put it in the hangar bay and piece it together.
Above Anthony, there's Kevin. His crew wears the green vests.
I work on the catapults. We have 4. The catapults are the releasing. They build up steam. It's 2 big metal pistons that sit below the flight deck.
Without these catapults, they couldn't take off very well, could they?
No, sir.
Exactly, so they need people like you, don't they?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Kevin gets closer than anyone to the jets as they leave the ship.
This is the F-18 Hornet, and we deal with these a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of used to it.
You having fun?
Yes, sir. It's a nice atmosphere. Everyone's willing to help each other.
Oh, I'm like a little kid up here.
I take it for granted every day, pretty much. I try not to.
Both men smile a lot. Both are proud of what they do, and both men miss Alabama. But they know their jobs are critical.
It allows my family to sleep at night and everybody else's family to sleep at night.
A destination, I don't know where we're going, but just
You don't know
on a
where you're
mission.
going.
No.
They may not know where they're going, but they know what they're doing and where they're from. Proud Alabamians protecting us.
In case you were wondering, both men love their job, by the way. They say they also miss Alabama hospitality and watching college football here at home. We certainly thank them and their families as well. And tomorrow night, I'm taking you inside the rescue choppers. And I got to tell you, it's pretty cool.
Now to an ABC 3340 exclusive, an Alabamian with quite the unique job as we go behind the scenes in the Navy.
I got to be honest with you, it's been so much fun calling the family members of them, telling them to watch their loved ones. For us, they're actually heroes. I received a special invitation to go where cameras are rarely allowed, highlighting Alabama the Brave.
We train hard for this. You never know, something could happen.
Expecting the unexpected is what they do.
We're having a maintenance issue. We're going to go back to the line and get it looked at.
That's my ride with the issue. But to get to this point, we trained, we learned, and we prepared.
And then you're going to go ahead and zip up the middle part right there all the way.
Few are granted this kind of access inside the Navy, but ABC 3340 was given the opportunity to show you the Alabamians who make it happen. The real heroes protecting us.
My name is Justin Kopp, and I'm from Pell City, Alabama.
This is his office, and every piece of wiring on this MH-60 Sierra that I flew on, he can trace.
There's miles and miles and miles of wire. Just to oversee the maintenance of all these aircraft that you see and that you flew on.
Without people like you, there'd be problems.
Tons. Tons of problems.
Justin is an aviation electrician and handles the quality assurance. Bottom line, if it's brand new or needs to be tested or repaired, he's the guy.
Basically anything electrical, any wires, any components that have wires going to it. If it goes bad, we're the ones trying to figure out what's going bad and how and what's causing it, then we fix it. My main job is to make sure these things continue to fly.
Think of it this way. These choppers are a key piece of equipment. As we flew the shores of Virginia, I learned this crew was one of many rescuing people after recent hurricanes.
Just knowing that we can get them up there, get them out there to help people that are in need is what it's all about. That's all we're here for.
And these choppers are the first to be called when people need help, especially pilots. As we watched jets take off from the USS Lincoln, these helicopters are always hovering nearby just in case.
There's no mistakes. There's no room for error.
Right.
How do you relax?
It just starts as soon as I leave the gate. As soon as I leave the front door. Anything that happened here at work, any stresses that happen, I leave it here. I go home. Got about a 15-20 minute drive to my house, and then when I get home, I just spend time with my wife and my kids.
He has a 4-year-old and a 6-month-old. Keeping these in the air keep his family safe. And he admits it's a bit stressful.
The stress is worth it to you? Is that what you're saying?
Stress is 100% worth it. 100% worth it.
The helicopters aren't just for rescue missions.
So the crew right now doing their final briefing, and what they have here, this is a 99-pound Hellfire missile. They're going to load it right here onto this helicopter, a helicopter that has crew members from Alabama working on it as they go on a training mission.
And that's what I love about this job, is every day there's a new challenge. And then you just work your way through the challenge, you get past it, and you keep going, and it makes you a better sailor and it makes you a better person.
By the way, the issue I had at the start of my flight.
We're having a maintenance issue. We're going to go back to the line and get it looked at. No big deal, though.
It was repaired on the tarmac by Justin and his crew. And as we cruised over the Atlantic, I was reminded, they make it look simple because they're a team, everyone relying on the other to do their job and complete the mission of protecting our families. That's quality control led by an Alabamian.
My goal with these stories, pretty simple, to show our appreciation for our military. And something noteworthy with this, the area where they work on the helicopters and the jets, immaculate. I mean, clean as a whistle.
ABC 3340 News at 10 continues.
Now to a story you'll see only on ABC 3340. Our military prepares for everything that includes the absolute worst,
including aircraft crashes. And I was given exclusive access inside the U.S. Navy. And in my series, Alabama the Brave, tonight we go into the water for survival swim lessons.
Night and day, they never stop. It doesn't matter if it's a Super Hornet, rescue chopper, or a C-2 Greyhound, they all come and go, and there's one thing they all have in common. Those operating the aircraft start here. It doesn't matter if they're landing here or here, all naval aviators and crewmen must land in the water first.
After the end of that 5 minutes, I'm going to know you're ready to swim. You come straight back to that shallow end wall, you're holding onto the wall.
Welcome to the Aviation Water Survival Training Center, the best of the best when it comes to rescue and survival swim training in the world. Sure, I got suited up and into the water, but there's more to it.
This results in a cognitive mismatch between the person's inner ear.
Everything is in depth, from physical to psychological to survival. It's all covered, first in the classroom. And of course, signing documents promising we won't drown, along with learning every part of the uniform.
Press it twice, it'll give you like a blinking sensation.
After all, there is a test my photographer, Clay Yeager, you see right there, he and I had to pass in order to fly to the USS Lincoln.
Unfortunately, we see the mishap reports and stuff that come out every time there's a crash. We wanted to give these guys the best chance of survival we can when all else fails.
Donning a flight suit, boots, and helmet, my photographer and I begin the test.
All right, gents, your next evolution is your survival swimming evolution.
We have to pass 3 basic moves. Drown proofing, that's a big deep breath and roll like you're laying on a beach ball time and time again as if you're waiting for help. Then the breaststroke, not like Michael Phelps, this is slow. And treading water. We're surrounded by naval instructors going the length of the massive pool. By the way, aviators, they have to do this for a mile. Treading water, Clay and I passed.
When you have all this gear on, you immediately want to sink to the bottom. That's why the training that they go through here at the Navy truly is survival training.
Then treading water and engaging our flotation ring. While drinking, I guess you could say, quite a bit of water, I remember my training to remain calm and focus.
Lean back, you're gonna float.
You can put a little more air in it.
And as much as you can tell someone to stay calm in a crashing helicopter, but if you can stay calm, your brain's gonna be with it, your body's not gonna be jacked up, and you're gonna be able to survive.
I didn't do that well, but I did okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, I passed. Do many people get out of the pool just like I did, saying I didn't realize how hard that was?
Pretty much everybody, including the Navy aircrew guys, they do go through this training regularly, but until you put all the gear on, until you're under stress, until you have to swim that entire length of the pool, you don't realize what all that's going to take out of you.
Survival training, Navy style, just in case you didn't realize how well trained our nation's heroes are.
My goal with my stories this week is to show you our appreciation for those who protect us. I met many heroes during my time on the USS Lincoln and at Norfolk Naval Air Station, and all of them were humble and helpful. And to all members of the military and your families, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Wow, great job, Christopher.